Good evening and welcome. I'm Sheila Balgobin and I am the Dream Decipherer, and I help you to crack the code of your sleep and dreams so you can sleep sound and dream deep. This evening offering features a driver and whose car just whatever for whatever reason went off the road. But let's see what's going on. It's a little dream, but as we know, little dreams can contain lots of information. So the dreamer reports that they were driving on a motorway, a freeway, more than likely in a foreign country somewhere, a country unidentified. The dreamer had been driving for a number of hours when suddenly the car just left the road or skidded or something, and it while it didn't turn over, it actually went down a bank and ended up with scrub land. There was scrub on either side of the car. The dreamer managed to turn the car around, but the only way to get back onto the road was to actually head in the direction they came from. So they had to go back in order to go forward. And the dream ends there. Like I said, a very short dream, but let's see what can be pulled out of it and what questions come up for the dreamer. So, first of all, the dreamer was driving on a highway, which indicates fast movement, and vehicles in dreams usually represent literally our journey through life. Sometimes we're on foot, sometimes we're in a plane, sometimes we're being driven as opposed to driving ourselves. And that just is an indication of the nature or speed of our journey at the particular time. Um, but in this particular case, the dreamer was driving the car, so it was under the dreamer's own power, and he was exercising self-agency. In other words, the dreamer was in the driver's seat, literally. Now, the dreamer reports being in a foreign country, and being that we're here in the UK where they drive on the left as opposed to the right everywhere else in the world, but we won't get into that. I just wonder if this mishap may have actually occurred because he might have been driving in a somewhere perhaps on the continent, continental Europe, where the drive is on the right. People drive on the right side of the road. Perhaps that maybe have been a factor, or maybe the dreamer was actually um, wasn't paying attention, and his attention wandered for a second, and the car veered off the road. But in a wider context, at the unknown country or foreign country could be a metaphor, if you will, for being in unfamiliar territory, whether in a geographical sense or in a psychological sense. You know, being the our minds can be foreign territory to us when we don't know why we're doing things, what we're thinking, what we're feeling. But my question here for the dreamers, well, where was the dreamer going or think that they were going to? And again, I ask it whether the right hand drive versus left hand drive may have been a factor in this mishap. But again, in a deeper context, in the psychological context, the right side, if you will, is our conscious mind, whereas the left side represents the unconscious. Um, Now, the dreamer also reports that they were driving for hours. Was the dreamer just tired? And maybe, like I said, attention wandered for a second. And when you're driving at speed, it only takes a second or two to get into an accident because your attention wanders. Um, but my question here for the dreamer is whether there's an area of the dreamer's life that is wearying in some way, that is tiring. It feels like a long slog, a long journey. And as I said, the car left the road. That was very telling to me that the dreamer actually used the expression, my car left the road. So it's, yes, it came off the road, it veered off the road. I mean, I would have used a different word, but that's neither here nor there. It's not my dream. But it's significant to me that it uses the word left the road. As I refer back to where I said the right refers to the conscious mind and the left, the unconscious mind. And I would ask here if there's some aspect of the dreamer's life that feels out of control, maybe not consciously, but it gives that feeling of somehow of being out of control. Then there's this scrub land or scrub on either side of the car once it comes to a stop after coming off the road. And scrub brought up a couple of things for me. One, scrub, meaning wasteland, being in a wasteland when the car came off the road. And the other is to scrub, like to actually scrub something clean. In either case, I would ask the dreamer here if there has been a decision or maybe two pathways where which either A, leads to scrubland or wasteland, or needs to be scrubbed clean. And that's something perhaps for the dreamer to look at. It's like, what are they trying to scrub out of their life? Or is the particular pathway going to lead them into this scrub land, this wasteland? Now, excuse me, the car didn't flip over or overturn, so there was no serious damage done, but it did end up in a ditch, went down an embankment. And the wording is significant here because he went down into this bank, into this lower place. And the relative position of things in dreams can be significant, going from a higher place to a lower place. So from our higher minds, if you will, to a lower place of thinking or behaving. And I would ask the dreamer here if there's a particular path or state of mind or set of behaviors, perhaps, which takes them from their higher mind to their lower self or lower mind. There seems to be something there about these relative positions of higher versus lower. Now, finally, the dreamer manages to get their car back onto the road, but has to go back, has to backtrack in order to be able to move forward. And it reminds me of an expression in French. This is reculer pour mieux sauter, to withdraw or to fall back in order to leap forward. And I wonder if there's some place in the dreamer's life where they may have had to turn back or make a U-turn in some way from a particular path or set of beliefs, behaviors, etc. So, because the only way for this dreamer to get moving again on this fast moving road was to go back the way they came. And again, that put that question to the dreamer: is there a point in the dreamer's life, or is the dreamer at a point in their life where they actually have to turn back and either revisit something, redo something, forget something, whatever the case may be, in order to be able to move forward? And finally, there's a couple of points to consider here for the dreamer perhaps to think about. And despite this fast movement, remember that the car is moving at speed on a motorway. The dreamer doesn't seem to be going anyplace in particular, almost as if they're wandering someplace and just kind of wandering around quickly. But they're wandering around quickly under their own power until something or someone perhaps made the car actually veer off into a different direction. And it begs the question to me is, where is the dreamer actually going in their life at this moment? Is there a direction, or is it kind of aimless moving forward quickly but with no real destination? The expression to me that came to me with this was the road to nowhere. But nowhere is a very tricky thing. If you break it up in a different way, nowhere can also be read as now, here. So I would want to ask the dreamer here to consider whether the dreamer needs to focus on the now, here, rather than nowhere, and perhaps may need to go back and redo or rethink something in order to be able to move forward. So there you have it. I have to laugh because the dreamer kind of prefaced this when I selected this dream, and made the statement, "Oh, it's very mundane. Nothing's happening." Well, actually, there's a lot happening if you know where to look. So there you have it. Fast cars and scrubby ditches and things for the dreamer to think about. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Have a great evening and rest of the week. And I'll see you again next time. Oh, I keep saying that I'm going to revisit some of my, look in my archives and dig up some of my old dreams. And I think I'm going to do that next week, to dig up one of my old case studies and share with you what insights the dreamers actually got from their dream. I'll be doing that from time to time, not all the time, but every now and then. It's good to look back and see what dreamers actually got out of the work that we've done together. Thanks again. Have a great evening, and I'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.